what has been the purpose of the vaccination programme? Arguably a world beater, maybe Israel slightly ahead, but absolute. What is the bloody point if the pubs can't open on June the 21st, Secretary of State?
As I've said, we're really, really focused on reopening on the 21st of June.
If you were Prime Minister, you'd open them, wouldn't you?
You'll remember.
No, if you were PM, unless you had people dying in front of you and hospitals closing, you would open up, wouldn't you?
We've got to look at the data, Nick. It's got to be in a safe way.
Let's try one last time. If you were Prime Minister, and that day will dawn, one day will dawn, you would need the most horrific, and no one would wish that, you would be determined to allow people to start making a few quid again, wouldn't you, Mr. Kwarteng?
And that's exactly what the Prime Minister Boris Johnson is committed to doing. But he's got to look at the data. He's got to look at the evidence. You know that. I mean, if we reopen and then, for whatever reason, that's too premature, there'll be lots and lots of people asking, why on earth did you reopen? Why the hell did you do that? So it's a difficult balance, but as you know, we're committed to the 21st of June, but we can't guarantee it. That's what I'm saying.
But what has been the purpose of the vaccination programme then? If we're one of the best in the world, why? I mean, in America, as I'm sure you're aware, United States, most of the United States, the bars are open, people are in restaurants, everything's fantastic. We have a world-beating vaccination programme, but we're still kept in solitary confinement.
Well, things are opening up. I mean, I was just in a restaurant yesterday for the first time in about 8 months inside. So things are opening up. And your data about the pub and hospitality trade is true, but actually the position has improved. When I took over the job in January, people were saying to me, we don't have a roadmap, we don't have any support, we're totally shut, and the situation was really, really dire. I think the situation is improving, but you're quite right, it'll be much better if we can hit the 21st of June and open up in the way that we said we would.
OK. Some of my listeners are concerned and a little confused. I wonder, you've mentioned the Prime Minister. Can I take you back to almost 12 months ago? This is July last year.
It is my strong and sincere hope that we will be able to review the outstanding restrictions and allow a more significant return to normality from November at the earliest, possibly in time for Christmas.
And then we moved to November of last year.
I really am assured now that things will look and feel very different indeed after Easter. But with luck and with hard work, we will be seeing improvements before then.
Mr. Kwarteng, why should we believe a word your government says?
Well, a lot of things have happened since the Prime Minister made those remarks in November, and you've referred to it. The big difference has been the vaccine rollout. In November, we didn't have anyone who'd been vaccinated, or very, very few, as I remember. Today, we've administered something like 60 million jabs. 38
doesn't
million
seem to help the pubs and the tourists and the theatre trade, does it?
Well, it does.
Well, it doesn't, Mr. Kwarteng. Imagine if you were planning a wedding. Well, imagine if you had a son or daughter and you were planning their wedding. How do you know whether you can have your wedding in late? You just don't know. Where is the emotional intelligence? You all went to Eton. You've all got brains the size of Texas. Where is your emotional intelligence?
Nick, I know it's a very, very difficult situation, but the situation today is much better than it was 6 months ago. We've got a vaccine rollout. People are taking that. We've reopened bits of the economy. We can now socialise indoors. There are still some restrictions, but there are a lot fewer than there were 4 months ago. And I'm really, really positively hopeful that we can reopen on the 21st of June.